Hi guys, welcome to Mustache Plates, and this is Artlog 1003. This is day 3 of the current Blender project, and unfortunately, I'm still not done with it. But there is still some progress done. So let me just show you the before and after so you can see it much better what are the differences done. Much more difference on the grass itself or the background, not much on the main object of the house. But yeah, so let me just go into details and show you what I have done. Let's first start with the plant itself. For the plants, one thing I've done is I have changed the coloring scheme of them. So I wanted them to have the same darkish greenish hue as the trees they are next to. This way, not just they are looking similar to the trees, but they are also now creating the natural vignette. The whole foreground and then the sides are all darkish in nature, and then the eyes are naturally drawn towards the house. Another thing I did is I put some more plants near the top of the tree so they look like they are the leaves, and then I just scatter them all over the place and change the texture based on the tree they are next to. Another small little change that I did is in the composition itself. I removed some of the plants from the middle of the frame, so now I've left a bit more space so there is a pathway towards the main house. And that's all the changes regarding all the plants in the scene. Let's move on to the next. I've changed the ground itself. So first the ground texturing, I've changed it to something similar to the trees and the grass in the foreground. And then I've used the geometry nodes to scatter the grass all over the place. I picked this technique from the YouTube itself. I will link it down below. But yeah, it does matches the overall aesthetics. And then I've just used the grass to complete the scene. And then for the texturing, I just did one more thing. The ground that is nearer to the foreground, to the trees and plants, I've used the gradient texture so that I could create that particular area a bit more darker, and then the rest of the area would be of the normal value. Now let's talk about the house. I have done very little changes to the house. One thing I've done is change the texture at the bottom of the house. Because it's at the bottom, I believe there shouldn't be much light compared to the rest of the house, so I made it a bit more darker. And then for the stands, the wooden support that the house is standing on, I have changed the color so that the part that is touching the ground is a bit more greenish, maybe from wear and tear, the moss and everything. But those are the small little changes that I've done. Nothing much. Overall it's still the same as before. Now let's move on to the trees. This is where I spend most of my time, and you can see the most difference also. For the trees, one thing you can see is the position itself is still the same. You can tell it's the same person, it's just that some work has been done. So one thing I did is I didn't really like the shape of the trees previously. They were just cylindrical shape, so I wanted to change it somehow. The way I did this using the displacement modifier, I added few more geometry to it. I added loop cuts to give it more geometry, and then I just applied the displacement modifier along with subdivision surface. I just used the strength of 0.5, and then I played around with different types of displacement. There isn't any particular setting that I know which will work, but I just played around with different settings and different types until I like, or until I find the one that I like or resembles the tree that I want it to be. And then once I was done, I just kept using for the trees that has more screen weightage. For all the trees that are important for the composition, I just kept using them. And then for the rest of them, which are not so important, I just use some manual loop cuts and then just move them manually. And then I also added some more roots to the trees. Previously, they were just cylinders, and we could see them see them ending at the ground itself. I didn't really like that, so I just used cylinders and then created some kind of roots, just adding some curve to them, and then I placed them at the bottom of the tree. So now they look like they have some roots going all the way down, and they are real trees. And yeah, I just duplicated a few more trees at the back So just to populate the whole forest itself. Previously I didn't really like that. It was a bit more empty when I was looking from behind. And then let's talk about texturing. The color scheme for all of them is still the same. I didn't really change the color itself, but I added a few more variation to it. The way I did the variation is one, using noise texture. I used noise texture through color ramp so that I could get these streaks, and then I could just use my color mix to give them two different colors. I use a darker hue than the original color, and then I use a tree texture. I think I got it from Polygon. Same thing, I ran it through the color ramp so I could get some kind of mask, and then whenever I was happy with it, I just created the two variations for the colors, and now the tree is looking much more alive. Once I was happy with that, I pretty much apply the same to every single tree around. It's just the hue is different, the color is different, the rest techniques is same. One more thing I added to the atmosphere of the whole project is the fog. I want the background to be a bit more mystical. I don't want it to be in the clear focus. I just used the principal volume with a very low amount, and then I used some sort of greenish bluish hue to it, and it matches the overall theme of the forest. The color itself, it doesn't really distract too much, just a subtle amount, and then it works. And as for the lighting itself, I didn't change much of the lighting. It's still the same lighting, but what I've done is I took one of the leaves and then I used it to block the light coming in so it could cast some kind of shadows on the main house. Previously it was this sharp shadow falling onto the main house, so at least now it's blocking some of that, and we are getting some nice mixture of sharp and then the subtle shadows from the leaf itself. And that's all there is for day 3. This is where I am right now. For day 4, I definitely would like to work on the main house, especially the texturing. It's very flat to my liking. I want to create some kind of variations. The background and then the foreground, everything looks quite done, so I won't be touching much on it. Maybe I will add few more atmospheric elements like fog or some dust particles, but that's all there is, and hopefully I will be done by day 4. But yeah, that's all there is. Thanks for watching all the updates. If you haven't yet, you can subscribe to this channel, and also you can follow me on Instagram. And that's all. Thank you. Bye bye.